Today is episode 3 of Interview an Expert. My guest today is Built2Kill, an endgame novice guardian. He's a very active and helpful member of the Ragnarok mobile community unofficial Discord server. I learned a lot from our interview, and I've changed some of my NoGu setup after. Here he is with his MVP hunting party. Lex procs, and he hits the target dummy for 726 million damage, with 1 card tornado tick. Somewhere out there, Devil Squid is not looking forward to facing Built2Kill. This interview was quite long, so I'm going to split it into multiple videos. In this first video, we're going to cover some of the questions and answers. This will include things like his build, his skills, his gear recommendations, and more. In the subsequent videos, we'll cover the remaining questions and answers. I'll also be inspecting his gear, inspecting his character stats, and doing the damage tests. First, questions and answers. What is the story behind the name Built2Kill? He responded, "A very long time ago in PCRO, I used to play SynX and I enjoyed mass PvP GVG. Someone said it's almost like I was built to kill, and that kind of just stuck with me, and adopted that name from then on." Next, I asked, "Why did you choose NoGu?" He responded, "I didn't choose a NoGu life, it chose me." One of the main factors that I decided to become NoGu was because on January 2021, the devs gave out a plus 12 refined headgear voucher, and I YOLO'd my ESL to 15. Then, I remembered that my first Nolan was a Galleon, so I figured it was a sign to switch. The same day, I rerolled some S-Star ruins and got a pretty good self-NATO ruin, which I've never been able to replace. And that was the moment I decided to go all out on NoGu. Here's an example of a plus 12 headgear voucher, Built2Kill's YOLO plus 15 Epic Spirit Lightning, and that critical self-NATO S-Star ruin. Built2Kill continues, "My first class was Lightbringer, and I never intended to switch jobs. I enjoyed nuking MVPs with one hit and seeing large numbers. In fact, during my transition, I experienced something I like to call post-LB depression. As a NoGu, I couldn't even one-hit KO low-board MVPs like Doppel. While my LB could kill Hermes in one Pioneer and Machine Revolution, it made me question why I even went NoGu. But over time, I understood why. After some introspection, I realized that LB has an extremely high beginning DPS, but tapers off very quickly, and that the LB class was basically compensating for my extremely weak fundamentals, such as my 400 attack handbook at the time. Basically, the effect of Saint Cape with 1500 raw attack, the 2.2 times fire damage of Avalanche, and fire element conversion made the Pioneer skill phenomenally powerful. I even made a meme chart because of this." My response to Built2Kill's chart was that it's so true. If you switch from another DPS class to NoGu, you'll feel super strong quickly, and you'll know why so many people switch to NoGu. Next, what are things you like about NoGu? He responded, 1. There's more margin for error. As a Lightbringer or Wataru, if you get latency, you're pretty much screwed due to the long cooldowns. 2. Latency can also affect NoGus, but only for a few seconds, since Card Tornado's cooldown is 3.5 seconds and less with Suffragium. 3. Simple gameplay. All you need to put on auto is Card Tornado, while as an LB, there's 5 million buttons to press. 4. Very fast move speed. A note about Built2Kill's response about Suffragium is that it is a Saint skill, and the trick he mentioned uses the Sacrifice Ode Acer Monument Ruin to decrease the skill cooldown of Card Tornado. You can see the cast cooldown for Card Tornado went from 3.5 seconds to a little bit below 3 seconds. Using the Sacrifice Ode version of Suffragium is very useful, and I've actually used this now on my slave to make sure skills like Card Tornado have a decreased cast cooldown so I can do more damage. This also works for other skills such as Hallucination Walk. Next, what are things you don't like about NoGu? He responded, 1. Can't one-hit KO highboard MVPs yet. 2. Hallucination debuff. No Moonlight Flower card. Please gift me one. A note about his answer. For Hallucination Walk, the 50% move speed reduction for 6 seconds is brutal. Also, on Global, getting the Moonlight Flower star card is crazy hard because it's so cheap that there's always a ton of snappers. Next, in the current meta, how do you feel NoGu performs in boss hunting, weekly instances, and PvP? He responded, for boss hunting, very well. However, against an LB or Wataru who is high-end, it comes down to who finds the MVP first. For weekly instances, 1. NoGu is extraordinarily good in TTL, especially if it's converted. TTL floor 3 can end in about 5 to 10 seconds depending on the team composition. 2. I don't like to do Oracle Nightmare with my NoGu because of the cast time debuffs, so I switched to my Rune Master for those. 3. I actually don't do Komodo Legend. I primarily do Komodo Brave in less than 5 minutes because I find Komodo Legend too time consuming. Right now, my NoGu ticks the dragon for about 6 million in Legend and around 25 to 35 million in Brave, depending if I min-max for each boss. So I'm just gonna wait till I can kill the Komodo Legend bosses in 2 to 3 card tornadoes. Right now, I'm working on my Rune Master, which is still in the potato stage. I can hit the dragon for 7 million with each hit, but I'm still using Lunar Brooches, and I'm currently waiting for the new Ancient Equipment accessories and garment so I can decide whether or not to fully invest in Rune Master. For PvP, I don't PvP, I just get to 2k rank and call it a day. As much as I love PvP, I unfortunately cannot commit a 2 to 3 hour block for the game. Next, what build do you use for PvE? For attributes, he maxes out strength and then has a lot of points in luck, followed by vitality. Also, he has enough dex to insta-cast everything. Next are his skills. He mentioned that his skill distribution is quite odd. It's certainly different than mine, so I asked him about the points in Hide and Taunt. He finds Taunt to be good versus Soul player as he can taunt her out of her allergy AoE. Also, hiding is good when running around maps to avoid the flinching when normal monsters hit you while you're boss hunting. I'll continue scrolling so you can see all the point distribution. Novice Guardians definitely have a lot of core skills, but they also have some flexibility in some of these utility skills. So for me, it was nice to see some different skill builds so I can also try it myself. For 4th job skills, there's nothing to really show here since everything is maxed out. Next are his advanced rune configuration. I'll go over his runes in more detail later, but I know a lot of people had asked in past interviews how the configuration looks so they can place all the advanced runes exactly like the interviewee. He also mentioned, I carved my breath solidification so I can add more damage to race. It has perfect attack to the spirit bomb, which is why I carved it. A note about the carving knife. You can buy the carving knife with BCC from the store under the growth tab. That was a nice trick for him to optimize his advanced runes like this. Next, for his Oracle Mirror, he has a plus 15 Punishing Guillotine, which gives him 15% damage to MVPs and minis. Also, he has a Meteorite Armor for stun and freeze resistance plus 50%. Next, for Ancient Relic, he uses Waist Size, which is fully maxed out. Next, what do you put on your auto and manual bar? He responded, basically I use Prepare for Elite, Magnum Break, Card Tornado, and Mount for highboard MVPs. In his Prepare for Elite, he has Blessing, Gloria, Impostio Madness, Inspiration, Overthrust Max, Cart Boost, and Hallucination Walk. For his auto skill slot, he just has Card Tornado. For his first manual skill slot, he has Card Tornado, Taunt, Hallucination Walk, Prepare for Elite, Magnum Break, and Call Spirits. For his second manual bar, he has Guardian Stars, Stay Calm, Card Attack, Hiding, Play Dead, and First Aid. He says, "My second manual bar is for ancillary things such as dealing with Archangeling, Earth Field, or Stun." He told me that Guardian Stars is used to deal with things like Stun because it's an abnormal status. Card Attack is not an AoE skill like Card Tornado, so it won't be affected by Earth Field. Some people bring Chronomancers with Earth Field to counter people that are doing Novice Guardian boss hunting, or they use it in PvP to stop AoEs from happening. First Aid is used to deal with those annoying Archangeling debuffs that make you do 0 damage. Next, what build do you use for PvP? He said, "For PvP it's pretty similar except I add more Vulture's Eye, Eden Team's Blessing, Endure, and Safety Wall. But most times I really just go with my PvE build and switch out my mouth to Frost Weave, tail to the Stun Tail, and back with the Sleep Pack." A note about those items is they are the Jadetite Little White Dragon, Dreamweave Silk, and Starlight Sweetie. Next, what do you think are the minimum requirements before people decide to switch to NoGu? He responded, "I've always said that NoGu is like a costume because you need 5 tickets. First, Ruthless Ruin with 3rd line. Second, Self-NATO Ruin with 3rd line. Third, Charge Burst Ruin. Fourth, Rapid Crash Ruin. And fifth, the plus 12 or plus 15 Epic Spirit Lightning. Aside from gear, I consider having these things as entry level, and that the key component that makes or breaks NoGu is how high the lines are, in my opinion. I always advocate for people to start with Stellar Hunter or Lightbringer, but I'm sure there are other alternatives as well. I only advise those two because I'm most familiar with them in terms of progression, and know that it is definitely possible to easily farm with Stellar Hunter LB and Boss Hunt with LB effectively with those classes. Next, what gear or advanced ruins would you recommend for NoGu progression? He responded, "I don't really have a starter pack for NoGu because I don't think NoGu is a starter class. That being said, I do have a wish list. Of course, this is barring new ancient equipments. I will cover his table in the next few slides with the actual in-game pictures. For offhand, it's the plus 15 Dragonbone Shield with the plus 18% physical damage increase. The enchant to aim for is armor breaking 2 to 4 for more penetration percentage. For card, the Alistar card is excellent versus bosses because you deal more damage to them and you take less damage from them. For armor, the plus 15 Truth Expositor with the damage to large monster plus 20% random attribute. The ideal enchantment is physical damage increase 2 to 4%. For card, the Gloom Under Night card, which deals extra damage to Holy, Dark, Angel, and Demons. For garment, the plus 15 White Duke's Manteau. The ideal enchantment is physical damage increase 2 to 4%. For card, the Mastering Star card, which provides nice physical damage increase per luck. For shoes, you have 2 options, the plus 15 St. Mary's Cloth shoes, or the plus 15 Little Fairy slippers. The ideal enchantment is physical damage increase 2 to 4%. For card, the best is the Moonlight Flower Star card for the increased move speed and also immunity to speed reductions. Next, the plus 15 Cat Paw Stamp, which provides great penetration percentage. The ideal enchant is Sharpblade 4, which provides 10% more melee attack and physical damage increase 2 to 4%. For card, the Galleon card is great for the extra damage to water monsters. For weapon, the plus 15 Destroyer's War Axe. The ideal enchant is Sharp Blade 4, which provides 10% more melee attack and physical damage increase 2 to 4%. Next for cards, the Drakestar card is excellent because it takes away the size penalty when using axes against different sized monsters. The next card is the Owlbearan Star card, which is great for activating Lex so you can do double damage to the monster. For head, the +6 Bashful Moments is great, or the Holy Night Blessings for the skill damage. Next for card, the Revenant Owlbearan card works in combination with the Owlbearan Star card to give you a high chance to do Lex. For face, the +15 Epic Spirit Lightning for that great 25% wind damage increase. For mouth, Huge Bounty because of the damage to MVPs and mini monsters +10%. For back, the Rathgracy Fallen Feather is great for the move speed, penetration, and the chance to cast Lex. An alternative is the Love Goddess, which gives you final damage +10%. For tail, the +15 Summer Banana Split for a lot of extra damage to the MVP monsters. The ideal enchant is Sharp Blade 4, which provides 10% more melee attack and physical damage increase 2 to 4%. Thanks to Built2Kill for his wonderful answers so far. We'll continue this interview in part 2. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.